$1 trillion. A 1 with 12 zeros. To put that in perspective, if you earned $1 million every single day, it would take you 2,740 years to reach a trillion. Elon Musk could do it in less than 2 years. As of February 2026, Musk's net worth stands at $852 billion. He's not just the richest person in history, he's worth more than the next 3 richest people combined. His wealth is larger than the GDP of most countries, and he's closing in on the one number nobody has ever touched: $1 trillion. But here's what makes this story fascinating. Musk has 3 completely separate paths to becoming a trillionaire. Any one of them could get him there. Together, they make it almost inevitable. This is the story of the most dramatic wealth accumulation in human history. Let's start with where we are right now. February 2026, Elon Musk's net worth, $852 billion. To understand how insane that number is, consider this. In 2020, Musk was worth $27 billion. In just 6 years, he's multiplied his wealth by more than 30 times. He became the first person to hit $300 billion, then $400 billion in December 2024, $500 billion, $600 billion, $700 billion, and $800 billion in February 2026. He's breaking his own records faster than anyone can keep track. Larry Page, the co-founder of Google and the second richest person on Earth, is worth $281 billion. Musk is $578 billion ahead of him. But Musk's wealth isn't stable. Between December 2024 and March 2025, his net worth dropped by $126 billion in just 3 months, due to political backlash against his role in the Trump administration's Department of Government Efficiency. Tesla sales plunged as protesters picketed showrooms. The brand took a massive hit among left-leaning consumers. Then he made it all back, and then some. That volatility tells you something important. The path to a trillion won't be smooth, but it's becoming increasingly clear that it will happen. Now let's talk about the first path to a trillion: Tesla. Specifically, the most controversial pay package in corporate history. In November 2025, Tesla shareholders voted to approve a compensation plan for Musk worth up to $1 trillion over 10 years. Not a typo. 1 trillion. 75% of shareholders voted in favor. The crowd at the shareholder meeting broke into cheers and chants when the results were announced. Here's how it works. Musk receives no salary. 0. Instead, he gets stock grants divided into 12 tranches. He unlocks each tranche only if Tesla hits specific targets. 2 types of targets, actually. First, market capitalization milestones. Tesla needs to grow from its current $1.5 trillion valuation to $8.5 trillion. That's a 466% increase. Second, operational milestones. These include delivering 20 million vehicles cumulatively, reaching 10 million active full self-driving subscriptions, delivering 1 million Optimus humanoid robots, operating 1 million robotaxis commercially, and hitting various EBITDA targets ranging from $50 billion to $400 billion annually. For each pair of milestones he hits, 1 market cap and 1 operational, Musk receives 35 million shares. That's roughly 1% of the company each time. Hit all 12 pairs, and he receives 424 million shares worth approximately $1 trillion at the target valuation. Critics call it obscene. Glass Lewis, a proxy advisory firm, pointed out that $8.8 billion per year, just the conservative board valuation, is roughly what every CEO in the entire S&P 500 combined made last year. But supporters argue that if Musk hits these targets, Tesla shareholders will be massively wealthier too. An $8.5 trillion Tesla means anyone who owns the stock now would see it multiply roughly 5.5 times. The real controversy isn't the amount. It's whether the targets are achievable. 20 million vehicles is ambitious but possible. Tesla's delivered about 8 million total since its founding. Full self-driving subscriptions? Maybe. 1 million robots and robotaxis? That's where it gets speculative. Those products barely exist in prototype form. But here's the thing about Musk. He's done the impossible before. In 2018, he got a similar compensation package that everyone said was unachievable. He did it anyway. Tesla's stock soared. Shareholders got rich. Musk got richer. Now he's betting he can do it again. And even if he only hits a few of the easier milestones, he could still walk away with hundreds of billions. The other detail nobody talks about. The package includes loopholes for covered events. Natural disasters, pandemics, wars, or changes in regulations that hamper Tesla's ability to hit targets still allow Musk to earn shares. Critics say he could score tens of billions without meeting most operational goals. Even a partial success here adds hundreds of billions to his net worth. That alone could push him over $1 trillion. Tesla isn't even Musk's most valuable asset anymore. That title now belongs to SpaceX. And SpaceX is going public in 2026. In December 2025, SpaceX conducted an internal share sale valuing the company at $800 billion. That already made it the most valuable private company on Earth, surpassing OpenAI's $500 billion valuation. But the IPO target is significantly higher, $1.5 trillion. If SpaceX hits that valuation, it would be the largest IPO in history, surpassing Saudi Aramco's 2019 offering, which raised $29 billion. SpaceX is targeting to raise over $50 billion in the IPO, potentially happening as early as mid-2026. Musk owns approximately 42% of SpaceX's shares and controls 79% of voting rights. At a $1.5 trillion valuation, his 42% stake alone would be worth $630 billion. Add that to his existing Tesla holdings, and you've got $1 trillion right there, just from those two companies. But why is SpaceX worth so much? Let's break it down. First, Starlink. SpaceX operates the world's largest satellite internet constellation. Thousands of satellites providing internet to millions of customers globally. Starlink generates billions in recurring revenue. It's profitable, growing fast, and has virtually no competition at scale. The business alone could justify a massive valuation. Second, launch dominance. In 2025, SpaceX launched over 160 Falcon 9 rockets. That's more than half of all launches conducted by all companies and countries combined. They've landed over 500 boosters successfully. One specific booster has launched and landed 32 times. They're launching a rocket every 2 days. Third, Starship. SpaceX's next-generation rocket is the largest and most powerful ever built. Fully reusable. Designed to carry 100 tons to orbit. Once operational, Starship will make space access cheaper by orders of magnitude. It's the key to everything Musk wants to do: Mars colonization, lunar bases, orbital manufacturing, and space-based data centers. Space-based data centers? That's the new wildcard. Musk wants to put AI data centers in orbit, where they can use free solar power and dump waste heat directly into space. No cooling costs, no electricity bills. Just pure computational power in the vacuum of space. It sounds like science fiction, but SpaceX is actively working on it. This is why the company needs $50 billion from the IPO to fund an insane flight rate for Starship, build a moon base, and deploy orbital data centers. Analysts argue that a $1.5 trillion valuation, which is about 60 to 68 times annual revenue, is incredibly aggressive. Most space companies trade at 4 times revenue. But SpaceX isn't most companies. It's profitable. It's growing revenue at over 50% annually. And it controls critical infrastructure: launch, internet, and soon, orbital computing. When this IPO happens, Musk's net worth will likely spike by hundreds of billions in a single day. Now, the third engine, xAI. And this one just got very interesting. In early February 2026, SpaceX acquired xAI in a merger valued at $1.25 trillion combined. Musk owned approximately 49% of xAI before the merger. Now that stake is folded into SpaceX. So what is xAI? It's Musk's answer to OpenAI. He co-founded OpenAI back in 2015, then left after disagreements about the company's direction. When ChatGPT exploded and OpenAI became the face of AI, Musk felt betrayed. So, in 2023, he started xAI to compete directly. The centerpiece of xAI is Grok, an AI chatbot designed to be more truthful and less politically correct than ChatGPT. It's integrated into X, the social media platform formerly known as Twitter that Musk bought in 2022. This gives xAI a massive data advantage. Hundreds of millions of users generating real-time text, images, and conversations. But the real power move is Colossus. That's xAI's supercomputer. It currently has over 200,000 NVIDIA GPUs, making it one of the largest AI training clusters on Earth. And they're expanding to 1 million GPUs. Training cutting-edge AI models requires massive computational power. The more GPUs you have, the faster you can train, the better your models become. Colossus gives xAI the infrastructure to compete with OpenAI, Google, and Anthropic. The Pentagon is paying attention. xAI secured a $200 million government contract. When you combine government backing, Twitter's data moat, and Colossus's computing power, xAI becomes a serious AI contender. By merging xAI into SpaceX, Musk creates a vertically integrated empire. Rockets to launch satellites, Starlink for global connectivity, orbital data centers for computational power, and xAI's software running on top of it all. This merger added an estimated $84 billion to Musk's net worth in a single day when it was announced. That's how much value markets see in combining space infrastructure with artificial intelligence. Musk now controls approximately 43% of the combined SpaceX xAI entity, valued at $1.25 trillion. That alone is worth over $500 billion. So let's do the math. How does Musk actually get to $1 trillion? Path 1. SpaceX IPO. If it goes public at $1.5 trillion, Musk's 42% stake equals $630 billion. He's currently at $852 billion. That alone doesn't get him there. But if Tesla stock holds or grows, combined with the SpaceX IPO, he crosses $1 trillion easily. Path 2. Tesla pay package. Even hitting just the first few milestones could add 200 to 300 billion to his net worth. Combined with current holdings, that's enough. Path 3. SpaceX xAI growth. If the merged entity's valuation climbs from $1.25 trillion to $2 trillion post-IPO, which many analysts expect, his 43% stake grows to $860 billion. Add Tesla holdings, and you've crossed $1 trillion. The reality is that Musk doesn't need all three to succeed. He just needs one or two. The SpaceX IPO is planned for mid-2026. That's months away. If it goes as planned, Musk could hit $1 trillion before the end of this year. Alternatively, if Tesla hits its first few pay package milestones over the next 2 to 3 years, he gets there by 2027 or 2028. But let's be clear, this won't be a smooth ride. Musk's net worth is extraordinarily volatile. It's mostly held in stock, not cash. When Tesla or SpaceX valuations fluctuate, his net worth swings by tens of billions in a single day. Remember, he lost $126 billion in 3 months during early 2025. Tesla faced boycotts. Sales dropped. The political backlash was severe. Then markets recovered, Tesla rebounded, and he made it all back. This will keep happening. Political controversies, regulatory challenges, product delays, market downturns. Any of these could temporarily knock hundreds of billions off his net worth. There's also the IPO risk. If SpaceX goes public and the valuation disappoints, or if public markets don't embrace a 60 times revenue space company, the wealth boost could be far smaller than expected. The path to $1 trillion exists, but it's paved with risk. We also can't ignore the elephant in the room. Should one person have $1 trillion? Pope Francis called the concentration of wealth in Musk's hands obscene. Critics argue that no individual should control resources larger than entire nations. $1 trillion is more than the GDP of Saudi Arabia, Switzerland, or Poland. Others counter that Musk is reinvesting virtually everything into companies trying to solve massive problems, transitioning the world to sustainable energy, making humanity multiplanetary, and accelerating artificial intelligence development. He doesn't buy yachts or mansions. He famously sold most of his houses. He claims to be cash poor, despite being worth hundreds of billions. So when does Elon Musk become the first trillionaire? If the SpaceX IPO happens at $1.5 trillion in mid-2026 and markets respond enthusiastically, he could cross the threshold this year. More conservatively, by late 2027 or early 2028, as Tesla hits pay package milestones and SpaceX's valuation continues climbing. Musk has built an empire spanning electric vehicles, space exploration, satellite internet, social media, artificial intelligence, and brain-computer interfaces. Each company alone would be remarkable. Together, they form an economic ecosystem unlike anything in history. He's already shattered every wealth record, becoming the first person worth $300 billion, $400 billion, $500, $600, $700, $800. Each milestone once seemed impossible. Each one fell. $1 trillion is just the next number on the list. The real question isn't whether Musk will become a trillionaire, it's what comes after. Because if there's one thing we've learned about Elon Musk, it's that he doesn't stop, ever. From PayPal to Tesla to SpaceX to xAI, he's been chasing bigger and bigger bets. $1 trillion isn't the end. It's just another milestone on the way to Mars, artificial general intelligence, and whatever impossible thing he decides to pursue next. That's how Elon Musk becomes the first trillionaire, not by playing it safe, but by making bets so large, so audacious, that when even a fraction of them succeed, the numbers become incomprehensible. $852 billion today, $1 trillion tomorrow. And after that, nobody knows, not even Musk. What do you think? Is Musk's path to $1 trillion inevitable, or will something derail it? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe. Thanks for watching.